The Dodgers have a big problem and they need to figure it out quickly. Also, more on the DFA of Chris Taylor and why the Dodgers decided to do it. The Dodgers are also monitoring the trade market for a third baseman. And we've got 10 big Dodgers takeaways. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Ryan McMahon. We got it, parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Tony starts the 50-50 club. Mookie Magic. Friedman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers show and podcast on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. I'm a credential member of Dodgers Media, trying to give you guys all the inside info, kind of talk around the team. This is basically everything you need to know about your boys in blue in less than an hour. Also, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to The Big Lead. Also, join our Discord channel. Got thousands of Dodgers fans in the Discord. And we're looking for your comments of the show. Drop all your comments, all things Dodgers related. Drop those down below. We'll get to those later on the 7th inning stretch. And also, another thing is we're going to do the top 5 moments of Chris Taylor's Dodgers career. So we'll get into that in a little bit. So just a second here. We got some comments here. CC, hey, D-Mac, what's good? Noel, what's up, CC? Down below in the comment section. Always represent. Love that. And also, if you guys have not yet, we've got some new t-shirts over at gearup.la. We got the Rookie of the Year t-shirt. We got the LA Villains t-shirt. Lots of awesome stuff over there. So definitely be sure to head over to gearup.la. But of course, every episode I drop the Dodgers Dugout Live poll question of the show. I asked you guys over on the X, did the Dodgers make the right decision in releasing Chris Taylor and Austin Barnes? And right now, 90% of you say yes, while 10% of you say no. That's shocking to me. That feels like it should be closer to 100%, but I totally get it. It's always sad, especially when there's players that you love, that you respect. So we'll talk about that, but lots to get into, guys. It's a Monday episode. Got a division matchup tonight starting at the Ravine. So let's get into it with the leadoff.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So the hottest story in Dodger baseball is that it was not a good week for your Los Angeles Dodgers. They lost 4 of 6 games. You take 2 of 3 from the Athletics. Then you get swept by the Angels for the first time in a 3-game series since June of 2010. The Dodgers still have the best record in the National League West and the best record in the National League at 29-18, on pace to win around 99-100 games. But they're 2 games back of the Detroit Tigers for the best record in the sport. And the Dodgers have a big problem. And we've talked about it all year on this show. You can't have your starting pitchers go out there and give you 4 and 5 innings of work. Yesterday, Tony Gonsolin, he had the bloody thumb, couldn't get a grip, couldn't execute the splitter like we've seen it. The command wasn't there. He's wiping all over his pants. The cat man kind of needed to go to the vet yesterday, but still was able to gut out 4 innings. So you have to give him credit for doing that. It looked like it was going to be a short start. You saw Dave Roberts talking to Landon Knack in the Dodgers dugout, and it looked like for a second that today's starter, Landon Knack, was going to have to pitch yesterday. But thankfully, Landon Knack did not have to pitch, and Tony Gonsolin did go 4 innings, gave up 4 runs on 4 hits, but 5 walks, 3 strikeouts, 97 pitches. The cat man did not look like the guy we saw the first couple of starts. So not a great start from him. And then the day prior, Clayton Kershaw, first start back. Kersh, it's understandable. It's your first start of the season coming off an injury. You haven't pitched in 260 days. So you're not expecting him to go out there and pitch a no-hitter, a perfect game. But he goes 4 innings, gave up 5 runs on 5 hits. it looked like he could have got chased there in that first inning. Did not look good early for him. And then Dustin May, really the only Dodger to give you any kind of length, and that was just one more inning at 5 innings, and he did not pitch well. Dustin May went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs on 6 hits. So the Dodgers starters are not doing enough, and we know that there's a reason for that, and that is you're missing key guys. Blake Snell has only pitched twice. Tyler Glass now has missed significant time. And yes, both those guys have started throwing programs, and that definitely is encouraging news. But then there's Roki Sasaki. He's on the shelf, and we won't see him for a while. And the number you need to know today, the number that you need to know today is 200.2. 202 thirds. That is how many innings the Dodgers bullpen has pitched this season. That is the most in all of Major League Baseball. Who is second? The Marlins, and it's 184 1/3. The Dodgers are the first team to have their bullpen throw over 200 innings. This plan is not sustainable. Dave Roberts said as much after the game. You are going to wear down the relievers, and you're not going to have guys that are going to be able to execute when they need to in those spots because they're overworked. And you look at right now, Kirby Yates, he's on the IL with a grade 1 hamstring injury. Why did Kirby Yates go down with the injury? Well, it's because he was overworked. Kirby Yates and Alex Vesey and some of these guys were pitching more than they should have pitched. This season, Kirby Yates had already pitched in 22 games this season, 18 2/3 innings. You've seen his effectiveness go down as well, and you're overworked, leads to the hamstring injury. You're also without Evan Phillips. You're without Michael Kopech. You're without Brusdar Graterol dealing with the shoulder injury. You're out without Blake Trinan. This Dodgers bullpen has been decimated by injuries, and on top of that, the starters aren't going deep into games. They have to cover too many innings. You have guys that are 1-inning relievers that are expected to go multiples. That's not sustainable. You have a guy in Anthony Bonda that I talked to Anthony Bonda for 20 minutes about the year he's had, and I'm not selling my Anthony Bonda stock. I know people are ready to say that Anthony Bonda is done, and Anthony Bonda was a one-year wonder, and that we know that dudes probably don't like him because their girl loves him, right? He's your girlfriend's favorite Dodgers reliever, and that probably annoys you, okay? But the truth is Anthony Bonda probably should not be pitching in high-leverage situations right now. This year with the Dodgers, Bonda's ERA is up to 4.37 after being at 3.08 last year. The expected stuff has gone up. And talking to Anthony Bonda, and I'm actually going to drop an exclusive audio interview with Anthony Bonda on the podcast form where I talked to him a couple days ago. And he told me, look, it's not having success against righties right now. And the righties are slugging against him, and he's trying to work in a new changeup to keep him off balance, but he's not back-footing that slider, not keeping it down enough. He's throwing pitches in the other players' nitro zones, and they're capitalizing. And right now, it just hasn't been a good start for Anthony Bonda. And I think yesterday's an opportunity where Matt Sauer might have been a better option than Anthony Bonda. I don't think you should force Bonda in high-leverage situations right now. I'd rather get his confidence up in low-leverage situations until he can figure things out. But this is just not going to work for this team for the long run. All these innings you're using now are going to impact the team in the postseason. And look, the good thing is a lot of their guys that are going to be their pillars aren't necessarily there. I mean, you have Alex Vesey and Tanner Scott, who are the Dodgers' 2 best relievers right now. Even Alex Vesey gave up a home run. Yesterday, Bonda, the home run to Darno. Just kind of, he's falling behind in counts, not landing the slider. The sinker doesn't have the same movement. But it kind of reminds me of last year for the Dodgers. Last year for the Dodgers, when it was just kind of a weird time period where you had the Michael Petersons throwing. You had the Johan Ramirez's throwing. Yesterday, you had Trevino throwing, right? There's always this weird time period where the Dodgers are throwing these guys that aren't going to be a part of the October rotation, October bullpen. But unfortunately, it's leading to losses. And it's the biggest reason why the Dodgers lost 4 or 6 games. I mean, you're putting up runs for the most part, but it's tough when the other team's in double digits. And as far as solutions go, look, I've checked in on some people down the minor league level about Nick Frasso, and Nick Frasso certainly could be an option, but I was told that he's basically kind of a rehab guy right now. The velo is down, so it doesn't look like he's ready right now. I mean, he's probably better than some of the guys that we're seeing that are getting opportunities and not having success. But Nick Frasso might be a ways away. Wouldn't be shocked if they went that route sooner than later. What I've been told is that he's kind of like almost in rehab mode with the velocity not where it's been, with the strikeouts not where it's been. And Noah Davis is another guy. You've already kind of seen him a little bit. He's more of a mop-up duty, low-leverage guy that can eat innings, and you kind of hope the Dodgers can get them a big lead there to have guys like Noah Davis go. But I think the shocking one for me would be, do you see Jackson Ferris earlier than later this season? I mean, the way that Dustin May has been pitching, I mean, with the way that the starters haven't gone long, Jackson Ferris is the guy that I have my eyes on. I mean, Jackson Ferris is a pitcher that really has started to come on in a major way down there. And you're looking at his season so far, the ERA's up in 31 innings, but you just can't take that to heart. I mean, they're working on different things. So, look, I think for me, the Dodgers need more from their pen. You need more from your starters, because at some point it's going to rear its ugly head. At some point it's going to lead to a lot of losses in a row, and we saw that over the weekend. And the wild thing about all this is the Dodgers, since the 8-0 start, have gone 21-18 since. And in that 21-18 stretch, you had a 7-game win streak sprinkled in there. So they've essentially played 500 ball, even with guys like Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman absolutely tearing the cover off the baseball. And it's because of non-competitive pitching. Like I said, the Dodgers bullpen has been worked harder than a Panda Express employee during a Dodgers win streak. That has to change, because you're not going to see as many Panda Express $5 2-item combo days unless it does. So that's where I'm at with the Dodgers. It's all about the bullpen right now. It's all about getting some modicum of consistency and reliability. And right now, guys need to step up, because you're already seeing injuries pile up, guys not being as effective. And like I said, the number that you need to know is 200.2. The Dodgers, the first team in Major League Baseball this year to go over 200 innings from their bullpen. Okay, guys, so keep dropping comments down below and hear what you have to say. We'll get to those later in the 7th inning stretch. A super chat, though. Sports Cards Reports Cards says, sweep, sweep, sweep by the Troutless Angels. Unacceptable, DMAC. Absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely inexcusable. I thought the Dodgers were the team that was going to be in a good position to get the sweep. I thought that's where they were. But, you know, you have to feel good about, you have to feel happy for Angels fan. Angels fan had a great weekend. And as Mookie Betts has said, when a team plays the Dodgers, it is their World Series. So, you know what? We've got a DFA of the day. I got a DFA of the day, and it is an Angels fan that we're going to throw that DFA at today.
DFA of the day.
So my man Vince Imperio, good friend, he posted this screenshot on his X, and this is a YouTube comment from the Archangel 906-650. And his comment was, this was good enough. Sweeping Dodgers at your house is better than the playoffs.
Bruh.
Are you kidding me? First of all, how do you even know what the playoffs feel like? Because the Angels haven't been to the playoffs in almost a decade. You haven't sniffed the postseason since 2014. And you mean to tell me, Angels fan, that it's gotten so bad in Anaheim, the standard is so low that you care more about a 3-game series in May than making the playoffs? Are you kidding me? That's when you know you have a poverty franchise. That's when you know your owner is one of the worst in sports. Are you guys going to have a parade at Disneyland because you went out there and beat the Dodgers in a 3-game series in May? That's better than the playoffs to you? How embarrassing is that? How embarrassing is that for Angels fans? I remember seeing, hey, it was, if Disneyland is the happiest place on earth, then what's the saddest place on earth? It's the Big A that's just down the street, because no winning's done there. And their whole season is a 3-game sweep to the Dodgers. I mean, that's just, I cannot wait to see Angels fans at Disneyland wearing those t-shirts. Swept the Dodgers in May. Wearing those hats. Swept the Dodgers in May of 2025. I can't wait to see the rings they're going to give out. I can't wait to see the banner they're going to hang. The Angels sweeping the Dodgers in May of 2025. DFA of the day.
DFA of the day.
All right, we come back on Dodgers Dugout Live. We got our 10 big takeaways. Also, we have the top 5 plays of Chris Taylor's career and a rumor that we are going to get into. That is coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live. By the way, if you have not yet, be sure go over to gearup.la for the best Dodgers merch in the game. Go to gearup.la. We got all of our new t-shirts there lately. The one that we dropped most recently is one of my favorites that we've seen in a long time, and that is the Hassan Kim t-shirt. The Comet shirt, it's fire. It's got the nickname. It's incredible. Definitely go pick that one up. Also, go pick up the LA Villain shirt. You can get the Rookie of the Year shirt too. I mean, that'd be kind of fun, right? Why not? He's our Rookie of the Year. Okay. He's the best pitcher in baseball named Rookie. Okay. He's my Rookie of the Year. Okay. I don't want to hear anything else. But also, make sure your best season yet with the nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. And you get to get outside instead of just prepping and cooking indoors. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle. And with 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your goals. Choose from Calories Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. And Factor powers your day with satisfying breakfasts on the go, just on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. It's easy to save for more this spring. Factor meals pack in the flavor with none of the fuss. So I love this product. It's one of my favorites. I have really gotten into it because, I mean, you can really set your week up. And it's fast. It's convenient. Me, I'm always on the go. I'm trying not to eat as many Dodger dogs these days at nachos. And the way I'm able to do that is with this, with these Factor meals. Factor meals is a big factor in my life right now because it's tasty, it's delicious, it's also extremely healthy. I'm a big believer in this, and I'm going to get you started too. Go to factormeals.com/Dodgers50off and use code Dodgers50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's Dodgers50off at factormeals.com/Dodgers50off. That's DODGERS50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. And I'm telling you, you're going to have to go here. You know why? Because if the Dodgers don't figure out the bullpen, there's going to be no Panda Express for everyone. Okay? And this is the best option. I'm telling you. So definitely go over there and pick up some grub. Okay, here in our second segment, it is Monday, and that is when we drop our 10 big takeaways from the week that was.
Dodgers Rewind. 10 big takeaways.
All right, so I know I got my rumor fiends out there. You know who you are. Always wanting player movement, always wanting trades. Well, the first big takeaway I have is clearly the Dodgers aren't 100% happy and satisfied with their roster. And they could consider making a trade for a position player. Now, this is from Bob Nightingale, friend of the show, and Bob Nightingale has linked the Dodgers with Ryan McMahon of the Colorado Rockies. Bob Nightingale says that multiple teams, including the Dodgers and the Cubs, are closely monitoring third baseman Ryan McMahon as a potential trade candidate. So you got the Cubs, you got the Dodgers. They're monitoring Ryan McMahon. What does that even mean? They're monitoring him. Does that mean they're checking his stats every day? Does that mean that they're wondering if the Colorado Rockies are going to be sellers? I got news for you, man. The Colorado Rockies, they're one of the worst franchises in all of professional sports. They're 8-38. They should trade everyone for everything. They've already fired their manager. And I think that the reason why the Dodgers are intrigued is because Ryan McMahon is a guy that they've had their eyes on for a couple of years now. I mean, just like we saw with Tommy Edman, they've liked Tommy Edman for years. And the first opportunity they had to really get him, they jumped on it and they gave him an extension. And what they like about Ryan McMahon is, one, you're getting premium defense. He is a plus defender, an 87th percentile, a 2 outs above average guy, takes his walks in the 95th percentile, hits the ball hard. That's always been something the Dodgers look at. He's in the 80th percentile in barrel percentage, 80th percentile in hard hit percentage, and he's 96th percentile in average exit velocity. I can guarantee you that this is one of the big reasons why the Dodgers are interested in Ryan McMahon, is because of those advanced peripherals that they think, hey, we get our hands on this dude, we can fix him, right? The Dodgers are that club that looks at, the girls that like the kind of the dudes have something wrong with them, but they think they could fix them. Like, that's kind of what the Dodgers are. They think they can fix everyone. And with Ryan McMahon, he's a guy that has shown that he has a lot of potential. I mean, defensively at third base, he's great. Not good, he's great. He's a very, very good defender. Issue with Ryan McMahon this year, he hasn't been overly productive, and that's evidenced by his numbers being down. Right now this year for Ryan McMahon, he's hitting 209 with an 89 weighted runs created plus through 182 plate appearances in 2005. So, look, you're on a bad team, and we saw what the Dodgers were able to do when they take bad players from bad teams and put them in a great organization. But yeah, McMahon's an option, man. He really is. I think you look at where he's been in May. Look at his most recent numbers. In May, he's in 333, slugging 667 in 61 plate appearances. So he had an extended slump, but he's out of that slump. He's an elite defender at third base, and then offensively, he's picking things up. Now, he's not a guy that is an MVP level bat or anything like that. Throughout his career, the best number he's posted offensively have all been below average, right? That's just kind of who he is. But we saw in 2022, he's close to league average. He's a guy that can get you 20 to 25 home runs. Basically, that's what he is. A guy that strikes out a lot, anywhere from 25 to over 30% of the time, but it's going to give you 25 home runs and really good defense. And then you look at his contract situation and where he's at, he's not going to be a free agent until after the 2027 season. He signed a 6-year, $70 million contract with the Rockies. So, look, you look at where he's at, you get him for 2025, the remainder of this season. Next year, 2026, you owe him $16 million. In 2027, $16 million. He's got a player option in 2027 if he's top 5 in the MVP voting this year. So that's probably not going to happen. In 2026, he has a player opt-out if he's top 5 in MVP voting. So he didn't meet that from 22 to 2024. So just throwing it out there, Ryan McMahon, monitor him. Bob Nightingale says they're monitoring him. And then the next question becomes, how has Max Muncy been of late? Is Max Muncy turning around? Definitely has had a better week for sure. Max is hitting 210 now. He's 6% below league average at a 94 weighted runs created plus. You're seeing harder contact from Muncy. For the week 2 series for Max Muncy, let's check out how he did. Max Muncy for last week, he ended up going 6 for 17. hitting .353 with 1193 OPS, hit 2 home runs and a double. So if he continues to hit, then absolutely. There's no reason why the Dodgers wouldn't stay with Max Muncy if he's going to be a guy that's out there giving you extra base hits, hitting the ball hard, getting RBIs, coming through in the clutch. And then defensively, he had another error overthrow. I mean, he's not the greatest defender for sure. I mean, if you compare Muncy and McMahon defensively, there's no question that McMahon's a better defender. Max Muncy this season with the glove, he's had his ups and downs for sure. Overall, though, he's in the 4th percentile in outs above average. So he's -4 outs above average. So the glove's not been great all season. The bat's picking up of late. We'll see how it goes. But I think that takes me to my next big takeaway is no one is safe in this Dodgers organization. Only the best will stay and only the best will play. And we learned that this week. What did I say this week? I said, do the Order 66, right? What must be done eventually should be done immediately. And clearly, they watched this show because you DFA'd Austin Barnes. A few days later, you DFA'd Chris Taylor. The Dodgers DFA'd 2 of their beloved guys, right? 2 clubhouse leaders that fans really liked. But unfortunately, if you're not good at your job, when you're not good at your job, you either get fired or replaced. And that's what happened. Both those guys were not good at their jobs anymore. And that's evidenced by every single stat you want to bring up. And it was a tough decision. And the Dodgers are making tough decisions because they think that they have better options. And clearly we saw that this week. But it was wild to see, but I wasn't surprised. It was a tough decision, but it was a no-brainer. Here was Andrew Friedman talking about the decision to move off of 2 guys. Let's not forget, those are his guys, right? He traded for those guys. He brought in Chris Taylor. He brought in Austin Barnes, but he's also the same guy that gave them the news that their time was done in LA.
Yeah, this has been a very emotional week for all of us. Barnesy and CT have been in the middle of some huge moments for this organization. Both guys have left an indelible mark on our culture and where we're at this point. So the decisions were incredibly difficult. The conversations were tough. But with where we are, division race, composition of roster, everything, we felt like this was in the Dodgers' best interest in terms of how to win as many games and put us in position to best win a World Series this year. Doesn't mean that it was easy, but ultimately felt like it was the right thing to do. Yeah, I mean, beyond just how endearing he is to his teammates, just the energy he brings, the foot speed, the versatility as well, just something that adds a lot to our roster and a different look. Again, no decision is ever made in a vacuum. It's within the context of our roster and where we're at. And so, he's done a great job. Rush talked about the other day. When we drafted him, obviously we loved the bat. Didn't have a ton of experience behind the plate. Have challenged him each year with different goals and things to work on. And to his credit, he has an incredible motor and work ethic and has continued to get better and better and better and better. And so on one hand, there is the element of, the guys who have been here and been a big part of what we've done. And the other is looking ahead to who is going to be a part of, the next wave. And it's far from science. It's art, and it's difficult. And it's, I think the end for people that, have been such significant contributors, it's never going to feel good. And it's been tough for a lot of us this week. But, felt like in Rush's development, where he's at, what he's done, that he had earned this right. And that he would help us be able to win games and continue his development. The last mile part of a catcher's development plan is leading and running a major league staff. And you can't really do that unless you're up here, catching some games. So felt like at this point that was in everyone's best interest.
I love it. I'm so excited about this because now we know what we've already kind of known since Shohei Ohtani was signed here, that they looked him in the eye and said, we're going to try to win as many World Series titles. You deferred money, and we are going to make sure that we put together the best roster. And there's no way that they could say with a straight face that they were doing that if they kept Chris Taylor and Austin Barnes on the roster when you have Hesson Kim, who we talked about there, and Dalton Rushing as well. So the bottom line is this is a byproduct of having a healthy organization. When you have a healthy organization that has sustained winning, you are acquiring players through free agency that work out. Some do, some don't. You are making trades for players at the deadline that help you win now. Last year, Tommy Edman, Michael Kopech, guys like that. Mookie Betts long term. And then let's not forget, the farm system is a major part. It's the lifeblood of a winning organization. And that's what we are seeing right now. We've lived long enough with this organization to experience the sad moments of these types of deals. And look, Chris Taylor and Austin Barnes aren't dead, okay? Let's not act like the Dodgers did them dirty. Chris Taylor has never done anything wrong in his entire life, and the Dodgers have never done him wrong in his entire life. And that's because when you traded for him, he had never hit a home run in his career. He had 108 home runs with the Dodgers. He made an all-star team. He won 2 World Series titles. They signed him to a 4-year, $60 million deal. The dude lives a great life in Manhattan Beach. Great life, great success story. Chris Taylor is an absolute winner. Chris Taylor is a case study that the Dodgers should have to show players in the future, hey, we can take you and we can help you become a good player for us. Now, he was a guy that you could, based on the WAR that he accrued, you could probably say it was a bad signing. And the truth is, with Chris Taylor, they got Tommy Edman. You got Kike Hernandez. There's redundancy there. It's like that meme where that guy is walking down the street with his girlfriend and they're holding hands. Andrew Friedman's the guy holding the hand, and he's holding hands with Chris Taylor, but he's looking back and he sees Tommy Edman. And he sees Kike Hernandez. He sees Dalton Rushing and Hesson Kim. Things change. Guys, year to year, there is a fall off. And he had the fall off, and he unfortunately is not going to be a Dodger. And he's going to try to continue his career. And it's tough. When you don't play every day, it's very, very difficult, especially for a streaky player like Chris Taylor. So wish him well. Thank you for everything you did. CT3 is a Dodger for life. We'll always love you in Dodger land. But this was 100% the right move. Okay, some more super chats. 499 from Sean Allen. Angels going to go to Ralph's to get their 25-cent series win championship rings.
Finish him.
That is gold right there. That is gold right there. Radius, $5. We're so spoiled. We all know team is underachieving, yet still number 1 in the NL West. Tied for the first place in National League. 2 games behind the best in Major League Baseball. We are spoiled. I could not agree with you more. And I love being spoiled. Being spoiled is kind of fun, right? It's kind of nice. It is kind of nice. So these are the ultimate champagne problems. We are like the poorest billionaire right now. We're still the billionaire, right? We still have the best record in the sport for sure. Mario Torres says DMAC meal prep is a torta and a shoey. How'd you know? It's a fire take. It's a fire take. Okay, so we're going to run through some more of these quick takeaways from the week that was, and then we are going to get to our 7th inning stretch. So Noel, my man Noel Sanchez, he's rocking with you on the producer side. He's looking for all those comments, so we're going to hit that in a little bit. The jam-packed show. It's a Monday show, guys. Lots of stuff going on in Dodgers. Get into is I want to talk Dalton Rushing, his replacement, the Austin Barnes replacement. And I'm just going to say this right now. The Dodgers have the best 2-catcher combination in Major League Baseball. There's not a team out there that has a starting catcher and a backup catcher. And I use backup in air quotes because Dalton Rushing certainly would be a starting catcher for a lot of teams, if not most teams around Major League Baseball right now. To have both of those guys on your roster, that is going to help this team in a major, major way. And it wasn't just the first game that I loved where he had a couple hits. scored runs, had his first walk. It wasn't just that. It was the second game that he started. It was him and Clayton Kershaw, and clearly it's going to be a learning curve, right? Yes, they worked with each other in his rehab start in Oklahoma City, but it's a whole different ball game in front of 40, 50,000 at Dodgers Stadium in Clayton Kershaw's first start in 260 days, all right? It's a different thing. You saw Kersh shaking him off a couple times. At the end of the day, Kersh has to go out there and execute pitches, but I loved what I heard from Dalton Rushing after the game as far as just the accountability and saying, hey, I'm the reason why we lost. Whether or not that was true or not, just to have the cojones, the moxie, the accountability to say that, I think that says a lot about Dalton Rushing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're special. Any way I can help the team win is a big part of what I want to do here. Yeah, it sucks the way it ended. I hate losing way more than I love winning. It's one of those things. It's a pill to swallow and learn from, and see what we can build on moving forward. Especially with some of these pitchers, I like to take the fall for things like that, and never ever put any blame on a pitcher. So I'll look at some things tonight, and we'll move forward. Yeah, maybe I let some things speed up on me. Like I said, I'm gonna take blame as much as possible. I'm a rookie. That's my job. Essentially, I'm going to take blame for every little thing that happens on the field, whether it's good, bad, ugly, everything. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be a long night looking at some things and figuring out what we can do to move forward and be better. Yeah, I mean, he's the best left-handed pitcher of all time. And like I said, I think I could have made some better decisions in certain situations. And I think moving forward, I'm not going to run into those problems anymore, especially with him in particular. But yeah, it's the game of baseball. Sometimes things don't go your way, but like I said, it's best left-handed pitcher of all time. I should be able to navigate him. Good. I felt like we had a good plan moving in. I felt like we rode most of the plan for the most part. Executed some things, and like I said, maybe there were some hiccups I made throughout the road, and that's, like I said, something I can grow on and move forward and be better.
So I love the accountability there. Dalton Rushing is going to be a part of this organization for the long haul. I really do think that. And if not, he's going to be really good. They could use it as a trade chip to get a major piece. I think that is the kind of future that he has, is I'm just going to be a good player for sure. And no, I'm not rushing to judgment or anything like that. Okay, I'm not going that route. But I will say that you look at the week that he had, he goes 4 for 10, 2 RBIs, had a double, hit 400. But to me, it was defensively too. I mean, the big reason why Austin Barnes is gone is he just can't throw out runners. And stealing bases is more a part of the game now with the rule changes. Austin Barnes, he allowed 15 stolen bases in 12 games. Dalton Rushing, elite pop time, elite arm, and he's not really that touted for his defense. And look, elite arm, that's a little bit of a stretch, but I do think that it's serviceable. And I think that he's still going to be an offensive first catcher that can still catch well defensively. So very excited about Dalton Rushing. It is rush hour in LA, and I definitely think that he is going to be a major, major, major part of this team moving forward. And then another takeaway is Clayton Kershaw is going to need some time. And I saw the comments from you guys. D-Mac, old man's washed up. King Kersh is done. Look, it was his first start back. Was he great? No. But at the very least, the velocity was kind of where he needed to be at. It wasn't awful or anything like that. It's not like he was throwing 80-mile-per-hour fastballs or things like that. I mean, we've seen him be effective with the kind of velocity that we saw from him in his first start. He threw 28 four-seam fastballs, was at 89.2 miles per hour. So as long as he can command the heater and the feel for the slider comes back, we're getting the curveball. He mixed in some splitters. He's going to be fine for this team. But here was Clayton Kershaw after his first start in 260 days.
Yeah, I mean, I love being back out there. It felt, it's a special thing to get to go back and pitch at Dodger Stadium. Obviously, I wanted to pitch better, need to pitch better going forward. But, I think for me, just to see that, I think there's some glimpses of my stuff being there, which is good. the problem tonight was just command. I had really bad command tonight, so I think I can fix that, which is good, which is an encouraging thing. But obviously, not good enough tonight to get it done. But first one back, and just to be back out here at Dodger Stadium was special for me, regardless of the outcome tonight. I don't know. There were some good throws mixed in, but just not enough consistency. So, just look at it tomorrow, try to figure it out, and work on it in the bullpen, and get ready for the next one. Yeah, physically feel great. That first inning was long. Hadn't had a really long inning like that in rehab before, so I think my stamina was kind of put to the test early, which was good. And so, obviously took my lumps in this one, but physically feel good and ready for the next one. No, I don't remember pausing. I always wait till 08 with the game to go back on the field, so maybe I was just a little early today. But yeah, I think before the game and leading up to this, it's definitely, I don't like the word emotional, but there's definitely some some thoughts, it's just special, So I think as you have done it more and you get a little bit older, you just learn to appreciate that more. So.
So there you go. Clayton Kershaw is back. Let's get 3,000. Let's get a better start. I think next start he's going to be settled down. He's going to be fine. He looked a little sped up. He didn't like the calls he was getting. I wasn't too disappointed. I mean, I don't think he went out there and embarrassed himself. I think he kind of dug deep after that rocky first inning, some hard contact there, and then kind of bared down and was a little better, was able to get through 4. So let's give him like 3 or 4 or 5 starts before we called him washed. Okay, let's give him a little bit of the time to figure some things out. I think that is definitely in line for him. But yep, guys, it is a big week. Another big takeaway is the schedule's getting tough. And the ops, like I saw, are on the way. And that is, you've got a matchup tonight against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and we saw how they fared against the Dodgers when they split the 2-gamer on the road. But tonight you get a series against the Diamondbacks, a 3-game set Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You got Vince Scully bobblehead night tonight, tomorrow Mexican Heritage night, and then Wednesday it's a Will Smith last out bobblehead. But then you go to New York, 3 games against the Mets, then 3 games against the Guardians. So a 6-game road trip, and then they end the month of May with a series against the New York Yankees, a rematch of the 2024 World Series. And then you got the Mets in town for a 4-game series, the Cardinals on the road, and the Padres on the road, then a day break. And then on June 13th, you play the Giants at home, and then a 4-game set against the Padres. So lots of teams that the Dodgers could be facing in the postseason, whether it be the New York Mets, the New York Yankees in the World Series, or division rivals, Padres, Giants, Cardinals tonight. So they need to find a way to get some consistency from the pitching staff. And the biggest issue right now we know is that Clayton Kershaw did come back at the best time possible, taking Rocky's spot in the rotation. Landon Knack hopefully has a better showing. You see him keep the ball in the yard, limit some hard contact. I will say Bobby Miller just had his best start of the season down at the minor league level, but it's going to be Kirsch, Gonsolin, May, Yamamoto. He needs to continue to pitch like a Cy Young. Bottom line, though, Kirsch, Gonsolin, May were rough in their starts. Landon Knack wasn't great either. So 4 of the 5 in the Dodgers rotation have not pitched well, and then the bullpen has been taxed. So we'll see. The Diamondbacks, they had a lot of success against his Dodgers pitching staff. But I think the biggest thing is tonight getting right back on the saddle, because you're gonna have a matchup that is gonna really determine, I think, the Diamondbacks month as far as, hey, are the Diamondbacks for real? Is Diamondbacks, they want to be in that mix for the division? We know the Padres have kind of been the surprise. A lot of people picked the Diamondbacks and the Giants to be ahead of them. The Padres have been better. So that's going to be really the number one thing is this big stretch presents a lot of challenges, and hopefully they can figure some things out and they can get the pitching where it needs to be from the bullpen and the rotation to give themselves a chance to let this offensive shine. Now, next big takeaway, Michael Conforto. A lot of you guys asking me about Michael Conforto. This week, Conforto goes 6 for 22, hit 273, had 4 doubles. I think it was a positive week for Conforto. I do think that long-term, Andy Pages is a guy that if you can figure out a different center field situation, let's say Kim, let's say Edman, Andy Pages could win a Gold Glove in right. He could win a Gold Glove in left. Did you see the play that he made to Rob Neto of a base hit on Saturday? Would have gone for 2 extra base hit. Heck, he might have been 3 that rolls into the corner. That a 5% catch probability. And my next big takeaway is Andy Pages should be an all-star. Andy Pages deserves some all-star consideration this season. He leads all of Major League Baseball in defensive runs saved. He's hitting 280, has a 131 weighted runs created plus, has 9 home runs. He's really in the top 5 to 10 in almost every single category when it comes to National League outfielders. Another strong 2 weeks from Andy Pages, and I think that he could make the all-star team. But I definitely think at the very least right now, he's turned the Pages. He deserves to be in the all-star conversation. Defensively and offensively, he's been great. So let's not forget that a lot of people wanted to trade this guy away for a bucket of baseballs and a half-eaten bag of Funyuns and some sunflower seeds early in the season, and now he's playing like an all-star. That's how good Andy Pages has been. I think he deserves all-star consideration. Couple more quick takeaways. I'm looking at Mookie Betts' offense, and I'm not liking what I am seeing. Mookie Betts, the power numbers are still down. The hard hit balls are not where they have been. This week, Mookie, he ended up going 3 for 20, had 4 RBIs and 1 double. And it's not like he's striking out a ton. Only 3 strikeouts. He's just not hitting the ball hard. And what if I told you that Mookie Betts, we're almost getting close to June. We're getting close to June, and Mookie Betts is hitting 257, which would be a career low. A 115 weighted runs created plus, which would be a career low. 6 home runs, which would be a career low pace. That is where Mookie Betts is right now. What if I told you that we'd be almost into June and Kike Hernandez and Mookie Betts had the same weighted runs created plus at 115? What if I told you that Kike Hernandez would have 1 more home run than Mookie, 7 bombs for Kike, 6 for Mookie? So I've asked Dave Roberts if he thinks that Mookie playing shortstop has impacted his offense. Dave has said no. And it's funny just because, when he's at shortstop, it's almost like he's putting up shortstop offensive numbers. When he's in right, he's putting up right field offensive numbers as a power hitter. And right now, Mookie Betts, he is in the 10th percentile in barrel percentage, 20th percentile in hard hit rate, 32nd percentile in average exit velocity. And he's not even striking out. He's not even striking out, and he's taking his walks, but he just hasn't seen the offensive production. So I'm definitely looking at that for sure. Mookie's best advantage is what he can do at the plate as a hitter. And I love the fact that he's figured out shortstop. I really do. He's in the 89th percentile, 3 outs above average. Mookie Betts, by every single metric, is an above average shortstop defensively this season. Only issue is the offense has had a pretty significant drop-off so far. I still believe in the bat. I think that he's Mookie. He's ultra talented. He should be able to figure things out and get back to where he's been. But you guys know my number one priority here is to keep it 100 with you guys, keep it a buck. And right now, he just has not been the offensive threat that we've seen him be throughout his career. Okay, guys, so coming up, we got the high 5. We're doing the 5 best moments of Chris Taylor's career with the Dodgers.
The high 5. D-Mac's top 5.
All right, coming in at number 5, Chris Taylor in 2018. He wins co-MVP along with Justin Turner. In the series, he hit .316, had a .458 on base, slugged .789, had 2 home runs, a triple, a double, drew 5 walks, scored 5 runs. Just an incredible performance for him, the 2017 NLCS co-MVP.
We've got 2 winners for the MVP award, and they're standing right here. Chris Taylor
and Justin Turner.
Your co-MVPs of the NLCS. I know you are getting wary of.
All right. So that was awesome. Great to see that. And there was going to be some more from him in the NLCS. That was really a big series that he had impacts for the Dodgers throughout his career. And then coming in at number 4. Number 4, you remember this. It was a great moment for Chris Taylor. Coming in at number 4. He was in a contract year, and then October became Octaylor. He lost his mind, went to God mode, hit 3 home runs in a game against the Braves in the NLCS.
And Taylor, way back. Goodbye. Chris Taylor, 2-run homer. Lead. Taylor in the air to center field. That ball's on the barrel. That ball is deep, and she is gone. 2-2. Uh-oh. That's deep left center. Chris Taylor. Not 1, not 2, but 3.
CT 3 homer game. Only 12 times in the history of Major League Baseball had a player hit 3 home runs in a game, and Chris Taylor joins that group. He had 3 home runs, had 6 RBIs. It's the Dodgers record with 13 total bases in that one. And unfortunately, it doesn't get remembered as much just because the Dodgers did not go on to win that series or win the World Series. So it kind of gets lost a little bit, but still, anytime you hit 3 home runs in a postseason game, it's going to be remembered. This next one is probably my favorite Chris Taylor moment, and that is the catch in the 2018 NLCS, robbing the NL MVP Christian Yelich. Just an incredible catch, sliding at the warning track, the fire, the LFG moment for CT3, just an incredible grab by Chris Taylor in the NLCS.
In the air to left, into the gap, it is caught! Taylor with a run-saving catch, and who knows how much more.
Just an incredible grab. That was such a tight series. That was not the most talented Dodgers team the last couple of decades, but still they were able to get to the World Series, and a lot of it had to do with gritty, gutsy plays, timely hitting, and a massive grab there by Chris Taylor. Then coming in at number 2, I was here for this. Some people think this may be a little too high on the list, but if you lived through and experienced that magical 2017 run, when this moment happened, it felt like all was right in Dodgerland, and the Dodgers were going to go on to do something they hadn't done in a long time, and that is win the World Series. Of course, I'm talking about when Chris Taylor left the yard and hit a home run on the first pitch in the 2017 World Series off Dallas Keuchel, the first home run for the Dodgers in the World Series in 29 years.
Lifted in the air. They do not want the infielders to have much work. That is scooped and lifted way out of here into left. Bang! Starts the World Series for Chris Taylor.
Great moment, just launching that bomb. And we know that if the Dodgers win that World Series, that home run's going to be remembered more. But because the Astros cheated, it wasn't, but still a great moment. But then the top moment for Chris Taylor was the 2021 National League wild card game. The Dodgers had won 106 games that season, but still finished a game shy of the Giants in the division. That set up a meeting with the Cardinals, a 1-game winner take all. Runs were at a premium, is a 1-1 game in the 9th. And Chris Taylor, he stepped up against Alex Reyes and got the wild card walk-off.
Reyes fires, swing and a drive, deep left field. This is way back. Walk him off. Chris Taylor.
Just in a great moment, man. I mean, you really have to feel great about that. Look, if it weren't for that incredible year, we made the All-Star team, had awesome postseason. They probably don't sign that 4-year, $60 million deal. But let's not forget, Chris Taylor is one of just 5 Dodgers in the history of the franchise to hit a walk-off shot in the postseason. So, yeah, he did not have a great ending to his career, but he is a part of Dodgers lore forever. He joins Kirk Gibson, Justin Turner, Max Muncy, and Freddie Freeman as guys that have walk-off shots in the World Series. So Chris Taylor, you never done anything wrong your entire life. Wish you well as long as it's not against the Dodgers. Hope you're a part of this Dodgers franchise, and we know you're going to be a part of this community forever. Just a really A1 dude. Gave back in the community, really meant it, really felt it, and yeah, it's sad. It was the right move, but those are some extremely exciting plays. Love those moments. Okay, guys, now it's your time to shine. It's time for the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
All right, we got J.Y. Kim, $5. Appreciate the super chat. Projecting out, how do you think Kershaw will improve when compared to how Justin Verlander is doing? He's the nearest comp I can think of. So a couple of differences there. So for Justin Verlander, he's someone that has not lost his velocity throughout his career like Clayton Kershaw has. I mean, let's just be honest. Kershaw is not throwing 95 and 96. Justin Verlander can still throw with some velocity. But still, I mean, the truth is Verlander, 4.33 ERA. It's not like he's pitching incredibly, right? And Verlander is actually 42. Kersh is 37. So there's differences there. And the major one, too, is that Verlander, even though he is more than serviceable, right? More than serviceable. He's averaging 93.9 miles per hour on his fastball. More than serviceable. He's had major arm surgery, right? He had the Tommy John. So he kind of had more of a reset. I think that Kersh, his improvement comes with his command. If he has command, the slider is still going to fall off the table and get hitters to swing and miss. So that's the most important thing. Can he put that 89, 90, 91 mile per hour fastball where he wants it? Can he keep it down? Can he live low and live long like our friend Dontrell Willis has to say? So that's kind of the biggest thing, is locating that heater. All right, $5 from Art Joe Go. The fireworks show at Disneyland is still a better show than an Angels game. Thank you, CT3. I'll never forget 2017 World Series home run in Game 1. It's a comment of the show from Art Joe Go. Giving it to the Angels. Love that. Justin Lamas, we got swept to a non-Hollywood lifestyle team that didn't even have Hollywood. It's a fire tag, actually. It's a fire tag from Justin Lamas. I love Shiva Jones. D-Mac, will CT3 sign with another team? Yeah, Andrew Friedman said during his media press conference that he does want to continue playing. And I think that he wants to go somewhere he can play every day. That's the number one question his camp should be asking. Do I have an opportunity to earn everyday playing time? And if that's the case, still play good defense, can still run the bases. He can still help a team out there. He truly can. Beat Punks Brian. D-Mac, can we make a trade for Cabrian Hayes? I mean, are you the biggest Cabrian Hayes guy? I mean, of course, the Pirates are always a team that is looking to trade and give off guys, but they actually signed him to an extension for Cabrian Hayes, and he's someone that I think a lot of fans like. He's kind of an exciting player for sure, but he's terrible offensively. He's bad. I mean, I'm not in at all on Cabrian Hayes, not even a little bit. By the way, did you see Jeff Passan threw out the idea of the Dodgers trading for Paul Skeens, and he had them including all their top prospects? And yeah, it just felt like very un-Jeff Passan-like because of how unrealistic it was. Almost too unrealistic even for the show. We might even talk about tomorrow, though. So LSU with Jones. D-Mac, will Barnes sign with another team? I think that, look, any team looking for a backup catcher, I think with a young pitching staff that he can help develop, makes some sense. I think he definitely want to continue playing, though. Paul Gutierrez. D-Mac, how is Kim against left-handed pitching? He's actually had pretty decent reverse splits. And I think that for him, he hasn't gotten a ton of opportunities, but I think it's kind of looking at how that swing will profile because of the adjustments, right? With not having the leg kick, and does that allow him to be a more evenly balanced type of player? But the truth is, I mean, you're seeing all of his starts were against right-handed pitchers, and he's had one plate appearance against a left-handed starter. And in that plate appearance, he didn't do anything with it, right? So we don't really know, but in his career in the KBO, he did have some moments against lefties. Jose or D-Mac, do you think these DFAs and worrying you might be next is affecting the culture and leading to struggles against the OC Angels? Jose Aguirre. That's an interesting question. I don't think that there's a lot of guys that are necessarily worried about that as much. I mean, maybe Max Muncy if he struggled. Maybe Conforto if he struggled. But the truth is, like, Conforto is worrying because he's on a 1-year deal and wants to sign another big contract. Max Muncy would be worrying because he's on the same thing, as he's on an expiring contract. I mean, this is a business, man. And these guys, to even perform at this level and be all-stars, begin the postseasons, they've already proven they can deal with performing under pressure. And that's just how it is. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, that's the nature of this game. So I think this week it was about bad pitching. If the Dodgers had better pitching, they would not have gotten swept by the Angels. And that has nothing to do with guys worrying about their spots offensively, right? So I think that's what it boils down to. But I do think that, look, I mean, is a little shake up in the clubhouse for sure. Come on, Mr. Classic, D-Mac, come on, bro. Let's invest in buying the Rockies. Then you can trade him to the Dodgers. I like that. So I'm right, JSR. I've also heard a theory that moving Mookie back to leadoff and Ohtani too might spark him back up. JSR, Shohei's the leadoff. He is putting MVP numbers as a leadoff. And then you want to stagger the lefties too. You want to have Ohtani 1, Friedman 3. And that way you're not stacking the lefties and giving the opposing manager a matchup advantage if he goes to the bullpen to have, put a lefty in there facing 2 straight lefties. If you have a lefty going up there, let's not forget the lefty Nestor Cortez got out the lefty, right? So lefty, that's kind of where they're at with that. So it's probably not going to happen. Also, too, Mookie, he's in the 33rd percentile in sprint speed, so he's not that much of a base running threat as far as stolen bases go. He can still do it, has great reads, but that's kind of not where he's at this stage of his career. Martin Troop, D-Mac, is it time to revisit the Arenado trade? Again, it's been quiet on that front. You guys know I don't want to just shove everything down your throats as far as trades and things like that. So if there's new news and there's new rumors, we'll get to it. But right now, let's see if Max Muncy can build on the better week he had at the plate. Ellis Shiva Jones, D-Mac, any chance the Dodgers will sign Joe Kelly since we need pitchers? Look, I mean, he told our friends the Bleed Lows podcast that he would only come back to pitch for the Dodgers. So maybe Joe Kelly has a voodoo doll out there for the Dodgers pitchers. And of course, I'm only kidding. But it's not impossible. It's not a priority. It's not impossible. Claudia 11, D-Mac with Teo coming back. Where will Pages play defense best? As far as how he grades out, he's best as a corner outfielder. He has an elite arm. The range has been above average. Center field, he's still passable to above average, but he's best in the corners. But right now, he's young. He's athletic. If they need him to play center field, they can still do it. And if he hits like that, you can absolutely justify it for sure. Couple more here, guys. Dylan Styles. LL D-Mac thinks the Dodgers cut guys because they watch this show, and he mentioned it prior. Of course they do. Are you kidding me? I mean, obviously, I'm only kidding, so I'm going to have to give you one of these. Bruh. The joke going over the head. But Jose Aguirre, D-Mac's going to play Shohei 50-50 highlights in 5 years, and the chat is going to say, why is showing old stuff? Oh, you guys are talking about the Chris Taylor. I love those moments. I mean, I love Dodgers history, too. So Ed Sabatka, CT3 will not go to the Angels, Padres, or Giants. You never know. He's going to go to the team that's going to give him the best opportunity. He's going to be on the league minimum. The Dodgers are going to eat $13.3 million for him to not be with the Dodgers. So, hey, if I'm him, I'd want to stick it to the Dodgers. That's just me. Paul Gutierrez, D-Mac, would Mookie get upset if he was moved back to right field? I don't think he'd necessarily get upset if they had injuries that forced him to play there. But with Teo back, with Paz playing like he is, I don't think that he profiles there because he doesn't want to move around as much. I think it'd be a second base would be the next thing. I don't think he'd be upset, but he's made it very clear to the organization he wants to play in the infield. Hey, bro, truth seeker. Hey, bro, truth speaker. Dodgers are keeping their word to Shohei of building the best team they can around him. Absolutely. Ellis Shiva Jones, D-Mac, do you think Bonda might be injured since his pitching is worse? Ellis Shiva Jones, I can tell you from speaking to Anthony Bonda personally a couple of days ago on Saturday, I talked to him for about 20 minutes. I asked him, is there anything physical going on? He told me, he assured me he's at a 100%. That's what he told me. I'm actually going to drop a podcast-only interview with Anthony Bonda, so look out for that on the podcast for sure. Absolutely. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, hit the like button. Also, join us later for the post-game show. You guys are the best fans in the game. Cannot thank you enough for sure. And also, join the Big Lead and the Discord channel Love you guys. See you tomorrow on this show. See you later on the post-game show. But that's going to do it. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.